This is vlog number 5, and today it's raining, which means I can't go on a walk, and I'm feeling a lot of cringe. I think it's because I'm like in the house where my friends are, and I don't know, I feel it. Ugh. Let me show you the view. Wow. Yeah. I don't know if you can see it that well, but again, video zoom is kind of bad. So I guess today I wanted to talk about how I came to be so lucky in my adult life as to have friends. How did I find friends? So after college, university, I thought that I would make friends through the climbing community because I'm a big climber, and the climbing community back in 2008 or so was really small. So I went to SF or through work. You know, I was like, maybe I'll make friends through my coworkers. And immediately I hated my job. I didn't like my coworkers. They were not into the same things as I was. And 2, the climbing community was actually not I don't know, it was full of people. It felt like they came in groups of friends. It was like for happy hour or something. I don't know. It was just like, it felt like it had become such a big crowd that there wasn't an inherent sense of like, oh yes, we will definitely be friends. Or like, these are my people, you know, it wasn't like niche enough. So I languished, and I would like lie in bed on Saturday mornings and call my mom and be like, Mom, I don't have friends. And I think I fell into a relationship, and like it was very codependent, you know, like 2 people just like really spending all their time together in an apartment. And I had all these like desires inside of me to like host film nights, host a book club, like create and all these things, but I didn't have friends to do them with. And I like also had a lot of shit going down at the time of my life, so I had to like get my like more like practical things in order. But I remember like going through a lot of career shifts and then being like, I haven't done anything this year. And my friends, like, I did have some old friends from college, and they'll be like, what do you mean? Like, you switched jobs or whatever. And I would be like, yes, but I didn't do anything from like here. Like, I didn't do anything from my soul. And I felt like more empty or something. Fast forward a few years, I'm now traveling around with like, I feel like I have a friend group in many cities. Like, I have friends in SF, I have a little friend cluster in LA, I have a friend cluster in New York, I have a friend cluster in Berlin, I have a friend cluster in Europe, like Lisbon / right now I'm like in Spain with a bunch of people from Europe. And I host parties, and like it feels like abundance, like the community and thriving social life I always wanted is available. And like this problem, especially of like I have one friend here and one friend here, but they don't know each other, like they're all disparate. Or like I like, I don't know, I hear about one friend hanging out with another friend, all of these, like, yeah, all of these, the feeling of like a social scene that includes and thrives without me feeding it all the time. I didn't have that until these past like 2 years or so. And I am someone who really like knows what it feels like to have a good community. I like grew up in the climbing community back when it was a lot smaller, and it just like, it's not just me and my 8 friends, right? Or like 15 friends. It's like it's not just a large friend group. It's like a porous network of people that come in and out and meet each other and have organic little interactions, and like it's this evolving organism. So how did I get here? I think I guess like the short answer is 1, I got online, and 2, I started hosting. And like, yeah, that's like the short answers, but like, I guess I just want to point out some problems I see with making adult friendships as an adult. And the main problem, I think, is the lack of a third space where you can have unintentional, like low effort, low commitment, repeated interactions. So in university, you might not mean to be friends with someone, let's say this girl, but I keep bumping into her on the campus, on the quad. And like this repeated, like unintentional interaction is what like builds for a friendship. So the climbing gym is a really good one too, where if you go regularly because of some third thing that like pulls you. So I do think like another really awesome thing is to have like a third interest, like it's me and you, and then we have like this like third object of interest. So like climbing, let's say, I'm going to the gym, you're going to the gym, we're not trying to hang out with each other, but because we're both attracted to this space, we keep running into each other, and so we become friends. So like that kind of space, you know, we both go to university, and so we keep running into each other in the same class. Like that is the type of thing that leads to like not even trying that hard, but finding like developing familiarity. Like I feel like there's a process of just getting used to each other's existence. Like your physical presence is like, it's like, okay, here is this body that exists in this physical space with mine, and like, or like even like your presence or personality, and like just like this like low level trust building that happens from these unintentional early interactions. And I think you need like at least like 7. This is, I made this up, but I'm kind of vaguely referencing like, you know how you need 7 like exposures to an ad before you buy it. It's like I need to like, I'm like a cat, and it's like I need to see this person's presence like 7 times before I get like, okay, like they seem safe, I can trust them. Here's like a thing that they said that seems kind of cool, and maybe I'll like be a little curious and check it out. So yeah, I think that's the problem with trying to find adult friendships. It's like right now, or as it was before for me, it's like, oh, I have this friend, like a vague, you know, loose friend of a friend, and I want to hang out. First of all, the barrier, like to actually directly text someone or message them and ask in like a one-on-one space, like message texting, or like, I don't know, their Instagram inbox, and asking them to hang out is like quite intimate. Like even entering a one-on-one space is fairly intimate. and then asking them to hang out is like also like quite vulnerable. You're expressing like direct interest, and then like actually scheduling is like very difficult. If you live in a city where you have to drive, that's also hard. And then actually like not flaking and like leaving the couch of, or like the comfort of your home, and making the effort to meet them at the cafe and like see them is, it's just like so much effort. And then you see them and you chat at the cafe, and then like let's say you have a fun time, and then at the end of this like interaction you're like, okay, bye, see you, like maybe we'll text, maybe, I don't know, but like you're gone. And then there's no like third space for low effort interactions. I feel like the ones that exist mostly are like if you add their Instagram, like an Instagram story, you can like react with a little heart button or something. But like just like the, if you want to hang out again and you have to reach out again to schedule another coffee chat, that's like another huge hurdle. So that's why I think it felt really hard. And maybe this video will be 20 minutes, I guess, because I'm on a rant. But yeah, it's like a big obstacle, barrier. So what I found, what worked for me is I got onto, I think like, again, like you could have Instagram stories, which are like low effort ways to communicate interest. There's also like, hey, you're good. My friend just walked by. There's also like again, like a physical space, like a climbing gym, third space where you, or like, I don't know, the gym where you can, or like work, right? You keep seeing them in a physical space. But what really helped for me was getting onto Twitter, or X. And why it worked is that first of all, there's like a pre-existing community of friends that I, or like pre-existing sub-community that I happened to find, and then also through that it was like, oh hey, like bye, we're done with our coffee chat. But then like later that night maybe I'll see my friend posting like at 2 a.m, oh my god, I'm craving nachos, and then I can be like, haha. And like she wasn't saying it to me directly, like she wasn't like messaging me being like, Christine, I want nachos, like that's too much, right? But like she just put it out there into like the ether, and then I was like, haha, like that's funny, like I just like responded. But because it's like a public third space, it's not as intimidatingly intimate. So yeah, I guess for me, like getting online and just like on Twitter, but also I like start writing on Substack, and like just like even Instagram, putting out stories, like I just wrote all kinds of thoughts online. And then I also would put like book excerpts, like I'm reading this book, I find it really interesting, here's like an excerpt. And then people would respond like, oh wow, I thought this was really interesting too. And that led to my second solution, which was hosting. And so I started hosting a book club, and the book club was on somatic IFS, somatic internal family systems. But like it was really cool because I was posting these excerpts or ideas out there that I found interesting. People were responding and being like, what did you think about this? Like just like thinking out loud together, discussing. And I was like, oh, let's have a book club, and we all read this book together. And it was really lovely. It was like, oh, I found like a like-minded person, or like group of people. And that just continued, where I hosted more and more book clubs, because I actually found out that people will join book clubs not just for the book, but also for like socializing. And so there was like a series of book clubs I ran around like IFS or Impro by Keith Johnstone around like improvisation and spontaneity. A pattern language by Christopher Alexander, and you start to build this like shared language with your friends. And then I started to host picnics where you invite people to hang out in like a open public space. It doesn't feel dangerous because I don't know, it's like you go to Dolores Park, everyone's a stranger anyways. And through this, I made a bunch of like friends in real life. Like again, I'm currently traveling with them, and they shared my interests. They knew each other. There's like a whole community. Like there's all of these interactions happening right now that I don't know of. And then I hosted more and more like gatherings. So it went to like from book clubs to picnics to like dinner parties to bigger. I was really into like, I mean, I'm still kind of into like these experimental art parties. And I guess it was really fruitful for me to find people who shared my specific cocktail of like weird interests, because if it's geographically bound, I actually don't know how many people in my vicinity are interested in like somatic IFS, right? But the internet is global, it's worldwide. And so there's like some subset of people around the entire world. You know, there's like, you know, 100 people, whatever, like that are into this niche interest of mine or this particular interest. And even if I can't find it in my like immediate vicinity, I can find it in my like, I can find it if I put my interest out there on the internet, and then they just like search like for this term and find it, and like by joining this discourse, you find people who share your interests. Yeah, let's see. I think I also take a lot of care to introduce my friends to each other. I really like it when my friends know each other. So in LA, I had like my friends I made from writing online, and then I had my friends from like college, and I was hosting a lot. So I would have these parties and I would slowly introduce them to each other. And at first they're sort of like cat-like and like just like getting used to each other. But then over time, like I find that there's all these little interactions that can happen that I'm not even aware of. And then, God, it's kind of cold. Then it just snowballs. And so hosting for me was like a really powerful way to deliver like an outsized social value and impact, not just like for the community, but for myself too. And yeah, I think I will stop there for today. Thanks for watching.